Thought it might be fun to have a look at Waterloo 1815, the Mark Herman game, and played a full campaign. The last time I played, we played an abbreviated version where Napoleon had already passed over the Sambre River and past Charleroi and things of that nature. But this is takes there's a little bit more effort involved here and gamesmanship involved with moving the pieces and getting stuff into a more coordinated fashion. And there are also some special movement restrictions that can be quite onerous, particularly when you're dealing with a 1d6 plus or minus 3 to the results. So I'm going to probably pick the camera up and move it around in a second, but basically everybody starts behind the river here and some units start off for the French. And then the Allies have Wellington up here, but he's moved, but he's down here. And Orange is all the way off to the far left of the field, and Blucher is over here on the right out of frame. In the opening move, you roll a 1d6, and I think you add 3 to it to determine how many French units can move and get onto the board in the opening turn. I was fortunate enough for the French to roll a 6, so they could move 9 units. And that posed a bit of a quandary, actually, because there's actually not enough room here to get everybody onto the board effectively. And it was also interesting that Zeiten here is the only unit that could move. And so he could have moved multiple times, right? We could have kept it, jogging him around, but we decided to pass, and that forces the French to then roll to see how many additional moves they're going to get. And I was thinking, well, this would be really cool if the French roll really low, that'll cut into the 9 units they can move. Well, unfortunately, they rolled really high, so they got to pretty much bring everybody on and put them, set them up to attack the lone unit. It was Perch that was sitting in Charleroi. There's no zones of control across the river, so you can get a unit across the river here and then attack, but have supporting elements from the cavalry, which don't have to be in a zone of control. And by the time you do all that and add the stars and all that sort of business, you end up with a pretty decent attack. We end up killing Perch on turn 1. We also forced a retreat by Lutzen, who was here. Used the guard cav, Giraud, and Gerard to force our way into Châtelet, I believe it's called, here, allowing us to have two approaches of march. We didn't attack the little dude here. What's his name? Is Steinmetz. There's Steinmetz for you. We did not attack him across the river there. I felt like I'd pushed my luck enough, so we sat that out. And in fact, I think I bumped this unit because he can be here. So that ended up pretty much the first turn, 15 p.m. The 15 a.m. turn. Beginning of the 15 p.m. turn, the coalition, the Prussians, get to roll the die, and they can move that many units. And they have 1, 2, 3 units on the board. And so after placing Blucher down in a reasonable location so that he could support units, we rolled a 1, so I can move 1 guy. So we move this dude here. So here's Blucher. There's 1 unit down there, another unit up there. They're both basically out of command range. Or this guy's probably still in command range. So I got to move him. He moved second after, I'll show you what happened in a second. But he got to move, and that's the sum of the entire movement for the Prussians. When we put the HQ down for Wellington, I put him in Nivelle here so that he could be in range of Orange and get him moving. Now he could move anyway because he could move towards towards Wellington, but I wanted to move him up because the battle, it just logically is going to end up somewhere in around this triangle between Nivelle, Genappe, and Quatre Bras. Things go poorly, it'll end up back at Mont Saint-Jean. So that's what we did. Now, for the French, for their turn, it was pretty funny because, can I sit this here? I'm not sure if I can. Bear with me here for a second. Try not to wave the camera around too much. There's enough people that do that online already without me adding to the pain. My camera's all twisted around. Here we go. Let me try and lock this in position here. All right. So I moved, where is he? We had bad luck with this guy. So I moved Van Damme up to here. Your first move is, you move him to here, like so. He was in Charleroi, moved him to here. He had to stop. And because I rolled a 3 for the French, they only got to move 3 units. I was thinking I was going to get 5 or 6 and have the race away, right? I want to actually make sure that it's just 3 because it's kind of pissing me off. Turn 2, road congestion is what this is supposed to be. Yeah, it was. What was interesting is the number of moves was a D6 plus the number of units that weren't on the map. But because I rolled so well earlier on, I had nothing off the map, so I just got the D6, which was a 1, which was a 3. So this guy moves to here, and then he wants to move into contact. So he's going to flip over, go into battle mode, and move one hex, and then he has to stop and end his movement for the turn. I moved up his third move was the Cav, so they can support an attack on Zeiten in looks like it says Gosselix here, but I believe it's actually Gosselies, Gosselise, I think, if I recall correctly. And so he had to switch to his combat mode, battle mode, and they had a combat. Didn't go well for Van Damme. He ended up being blown, which means that he will come back in 2 turns. Yeah, that's a beat down. These guys flip over to be exhausted, and nothing else moves. I've got 2, 4, 5, 5/7 of my army behind the Sombre River at the end of the PM turn on June the 15th. So interesting little to and fro going on here. What was interesting with that ploy with Zeiten to pass early and then hope for a low die roll here can have pretty significant effects on the French, particularly if you can't move a lot of guys yourself. So it's kind of an early game ploy. I think that might work out better for me next time I try it. All right, that's all I wanted to share with you. I'll probably check in every now and then. And also tell me what you think about me marking on the map the end of each turn, the progress, right? I think that might be interesting to track, particularly for this game over the long haul. All right, talk to you guys later.